All right, good morning. You guys are so asleep still. I mean, come on, we're not even like an eighth through the day. So I'm Justin Robbins, Training and Development Manager at ICMI, and I am really excited to have you guys here for the first thought leader panel of Contact Center Expo 2014. We're going to be talking about culture and morale in the next 15 minutes. If you've never been here before, it's going to be pretty rapid. I've got 5 canned questions for the group. They're going to share their thoughts and opinions on the subject. And if we've got some time, I'll take some questions from all of you as well. I'm going to turn it over to these folks to quick give you an introduction of who they are and what they do. And we'll start with you.
Sure. Good morning, everyone. I'm Lauren Mott, and I'm the Senior Director for Customer Care for Bright House Networks, which is a cable company. And my responsibilities are social care, quality, and also our escalations arm, so escalated customers.
Hi, my name is Jeremiah Methvin. I'm the manager of the support engineering team for iContact, email marketing software, and I also manage our social media team and iContact for Salesforce integration support.
Good morning. I'm Ann Palmerine. I'm Senior Director of Customer Engagement at UPMC Health Plan in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Hi, and last, I'm Eric Halverson. I'm the National Client Service Manager, managing all of our domestic and internationally based client service managers and officers for Treasury Management Client Services.
Awesome. So we've got a variety of experience, variety of perspectives, variety of companies here represented. I want to start it right off the bat, and I want to know how you would define agent engagement.
I'll go ahead and start. I kind of like to see that employees, from an agent perspective, are either committed or they're compliant. So I like to define an engaged agent as someone that's really committed. They will follow when even in doubt. They trust. They're willing to do all the extra, willing to tackle the complexity, never give up. So that's.
I think I'd probably take that one step further and say that beyond just compliant and committed, that they're actually involved in the development of solutions. So they're looking around at what's happening, whether it's on their platform or with their customers, and suggesting opportunities to advance and improve, and beyond just complaining. So they're actively becoming a part of the management of the group.
And along with them, I'd say it's a passion, that they feel really passionate about finding a solution. And I love when somebody, I don't love it, but I do love it when somebody comes to my office and they say, Ann, this is wrong. We have to help this person. And I just think it's when they have that passion that they are willing to drive to any length to get what's needed done.
I agree with that, and I think you have an engaged team when you can go away to a conference in San Diego for 4 days, and when you come back, everything will be good.
Yeah, so, I'm so trust, I think is a big one. I absolutely agree that emotional connection, right? Mm-hmm. Feeling that I'm part of something, I'm not just a body, I'm not just a heartbeat, right? So that's awesome, love it, thank you. I want to know then, what recommendations do you have for performance management that doesn't kill your culture? So how do we address these issues? How do we fix these things without everybody feeling like, the man's always coming down on me, right? How do we do that?
I'll start that one. So I think what's been very successful for us in our groups is to involve the agents in the development of the goals. To avoid exactly what you're saying, you must get them involved in developing around a central theme. So design something that says, here's what we want for our group: world-class service, A+ service, whatever it is, and then have your agents get involved in the development of the goals to support that end. So if it's call metrics, SLAs, whatever the case may be, once they've bought into it, to your earlier comment, then it won't be a problem. They'll support it from the very beginning, and it will not be the management coming down on them. That'll be them saying, we can do better, we can try harder, etc.
Love it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think if you are at the point where there is a performance problem, I'd like to get agents involved in solving the problem. I say, here are the facts, here's what we're looking at. What do you think the issue is? What are the resources you need that we could put together to fix this problem?
So you're saying it's not effective if we try to fix it for them?
Yes.
And I'd say from a performance management side, at least what's worked for us is that the performance management goals at the agent level are the same at the supervisor, the manager, the director, the VP level. Everyone has a responsibility, and it just cascades down in the level of ownership, but everyone owns it. And so when we design performance management, it's not competing at the agent level with engagement because the rest of the leadership team has the same goals.
Awesome.
And I really like to do it from managing from the positive aspect and really recognizing people for what they're doing terrific and really highlighting that and sharing and celebrating that. So versus focusing on any negative behaviors, it's really focusing on the positives and really building on them and giving them work that's meaningful.
All right, so I'm hearing agent involvement, right? Make them own it, right? Get them involved, make it meaningful. I love it. Awesome. So let's go then. How do you measure incentive programs, right? Because we probably, most of us have some sort of incentive program in our contact center. How do you measure that? But then more importantly, the return that you're getting on it, right? How do you suggest we do that?
I'll start.
Go ahead. Yeah.
One of the things that we focus on is the connection with quality to any incentive. So if it's going to be a sales incentive, a save incentive, or any other type of incentive where there's either a recognition goal or even a monetary goal, it's connected to the quality results so that we don't really ever compete with the ROI, that it's just going to be a better customer experience. So that's just one thing that's worked for us, is really to connect everything back to the quality behaviors in order for that success to be, as you say, have an ROI, which is really the customer experience.
Okay, good. Other thoughts?
You know, I think it's also as simple as asking for the feedback. You have to ask the agents, ask your customers, are they perceiving a difference in how the agents perform based off of the incentive plans you put in place? So if it's a simple customer satisfaction survey, you know, that you're sending out and you're looking to change behaviors, then ask the questions in the survey to find out if the behaviors are being recognized in your agents. And if it's simple, you know, a kind of cultural morale question, then go ask the agents, go ask the managers if they find the program to be beneficial, and if so, why or why not? Simple as that.
Yeah, and I mean, so here's the reality here is that we can expect to get a return on whatever we're recognizing.
Yeah.
So whatever that target is, whatever that thing is, we need to make sure that our incentive programs are aligned with the goals overall, right?
Correct.
And that we're going to get the end behavior that we want, and we're not going to do it at the detriment of somebody just, you know, going after that carrot. They're not just trying to achieve this because we're saying that this is a standard, but it's more about the impact that it's going to have.
Yes.
And the results we're actually going to get from it. Yeah, very good. Next question. So what technology solutions are you using, or have you seen that exist that have helped with the culture in your contact center?
Go ahead.
Well, we have the big one that we have is we have a Genesis after call satisfaction survey tool, and it's been amazing for us. So what we do is, you know, we focus on the members who maybe aren't happy, and we do a lot with them, but what we really try and do is take those people who are happy and share those wonderful comments with the team. And we can say all we want about how great our team's doing, but when they really hear it from the person they spoke to praising them, it means so much more. And we base our incentive programs, too, from the voice of the customer, from the things that they say about how our team did something wonderful for them.
Awesome. Other thoughts?
I think there's two things that I think of when it comes down to technology. One is the basic needs of the agents, the space at which they inhabit, making sure that it fits, you know, the needs for the job that they have. I'm sure we've all been to these, you know, rabbit warren kind of call centers where, you know, people have a 4-inch, you know, desk and a one-screen monitor that, you know, was probably 20 years old because it's not cost efficient to have dual monitors. But you have to start thinking about the experience itself and the agents, how they feel when they come to that job, and are they excited to be there? And then secondly, taking it up a level would be more along the lines of leveraging tools for suggestion box type mentalities, or, you know, seeking input from your agent so that they can directly give it to you using the technology at hand, as opposed to old-fashioned suggestion boxes and whatnot.
You know, it's a simple concept, but it's one that enough of us aren't doing, right? Give our people the tools that they need to do the job appropriately. Mm-hmm. Right, it's crazy, and to your point, culture can be as easy as if I don't have the tools I need, if I feel like the system's too slow, if I have all of these things, I'm just gonna feel like held back, and I wanna serve the customer, right? And so it's, you know, taking it to that next level, but even at that fundamental level, just give them the tools, give them the technologies that are gonna enable them to do what they need to do. Great. Any other thoughts on that one?
I think the only other thing I'd add to that is that the focus should really be on the agent's enjoyment of taking care of the customer at the end of the day. And anything that we put in the way of that, whether it's extra tools or the requirements or the environment or even the technology that steps in the way, it does erode that ability for them to have that strong morale and culture. So I completely agree.
Great, thank you. All right, so then my last question for the group before I'll open it up is, what's the one culture or morale initiative that every contact center should have? One culture morale initiative, every contact center should have it. What is it?
Peer recognition. I think there's all kinds of things the leadership of a group can do to recognize for performance, but if peers are not recognizing each other in your center, then you start wondering about engagement, you start wondering about other aspects of morale. I think it's one of those hierarchy needs that when folks can start understanding and recognizing the contributions of each other, you're going to solve a lot of your problems.
Great, thank you.
And I would say engagement at all levels, so that everybody feels connected but really cared about, that they feel cared about by their senior leaders, by their managers, by everyone, and that you foster a true sense of caring in your team.
Thank you.
I really like spotlighting customer feedback from our satisfaction surveys, sending out emails with the best comments we receive from customers, putting them up on the walls. It's a great way to both spotlight the agent and keep them tied with the ultimate goal, which is customer satisfaction.
Awesome.
And I'm going to throw out something that we did that I thought was a really effective thing, and that is that when we designed our quality monitoring program, we put every single employee in the company, from the president to the accounting team, to the marketing team, to every contact center person, even HR, through the training so that they could model the behaviors that we expect the agents to deliver with the customers. And it was really transformed things. So I would say an initiative would be to get everybody on board with what you want your agents to deliver. Everyone should model it.
Great, thank you. All right, so we have a couple minutes, so I'll open it up. Are there any questions? The subject's culture and morale. Any questions from the group on culture and morale? Yeah.
As being, a big morale and culture boost, do any of you utilize peer coaching as part of your quality, where you have your agents coach each other as opposed to a separate entity like QA doing that?
Yeah, so yes on many different fronts. So we start out before any of our agents even get to the phone or get to the computer, there's peer coaching that happens from the beginning. So they come out of formalized training and we turn them over to peers so they can kind of learn the ins and outs of that. But then all throughout their career with us, they're going to get coached by team leads as well as by their peers that have been around a little bit longer to get that insight. And we encourage them to do that before they actually come to their leadership, so to speak, to get questions answered so that they feel more like they're part of the solution, again, at a lower level of the organization. Does that answer your question? Okay.
Any other thoughts on the subject?
I've had opportunities to actually have members of my team do some of the training for new hires, putting together all the material and doing the training themselves. It works particularly well for my team because it's really it's kind of advanced support like APIs and integrations. So really it's the agents on the floor who really know that stuff and can teach it the best.
Awesome. All right, I could take one more question here in the back.
When your call center goes through a period of rapid growth, let's say you've built a great culture, built a great, you have a lot of good morale from your team, but then you hit just that rapid spike in growth. What's the key thing that, as a leader in that culture, you need to hold on to that's easy to let go of in that rapid growth to be able to sustain that through the growth?
I have some current experience with that. It's not necessarily rapid growth as it is that we rapid fired 3 initiatives that impact our customers that drove a lot of volume. And the one thing that we maintained in the leadership side was that we need to be the light every day, whether it's be the light from inspiration, be the light from keeping it light, humor, whatever that way is, we have to be the light every day because it's easy for the employees to get away from that light and lose that morale. So it's very important. It's a great question.
And I would add to that, and I'd say to over-communicate. So whatever your plans are, make sure that you're telling everybody everything that you're doing, because I think there's an assumption that, well, people don't really care about all those things because it doesn't really impact them. Yeah, they care about it, right? They want to know what's going on. You'll cut off all the water cooler gossip by letting people just know from you, right? Here's what we're doing. Here's where we're at. Here's how successful we're being. And if you're not being successful, admit to it, right? And say, here's what we're going to do to get back on course.
transparency, and that's, I mean, that's awesome, and that's, I think, a really great way to end this. Believe it or not, 15 minutes is done, culture morale. So this was the first of the thought leader panels. I want to thank all of you for coming, Anne, Lauren, Eric, and Jeremiah for sharing some of their expertise with us this morning. These are going to be happening throughout today and again tomorrow, so I encourage you to either stick around or come on back. So thanks so much. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Great.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Nice to meet you.
Likewise.